So we're basically observing traffic,
Yeah,
monitoring movements,
yeah,
and just looking for the best possible ways to navigate.
yeah. Also looking to see if anybody pulling out without indicating.
Watch that. It's still making a run, boy. Yeah, I have you on
Yeah, that what I
camera.
seen there.
So you see, we already seeing it. Red light. He wants to beat a red light. Alright, so I'm hoping for a major traffic bomb today. Watch this guy in the road. Alright, so far so good. Indicating left, also looking over the shoulder.
Yeah. All right, glanced.
What's going on, beautiful people? Welcome once again. Oh yes, it's another riding in traffic video. So I'm not alone today. We've got a rider who's really keen on learning the best way of navigating the crazy traffic, which I'm looking at right now. So rolling off the throttle. Wow, this is gonna be interesting. It's gonna be some slow riding from here. So while we slow ride with the traffic, introduce yourself, tell the people about yourself.
I'm a newly licensed rider. Well, he could say that definitely I've been after him. I want to do traffic. I want to do traffic because I like the technical stuff. I'm also the president of a motorsports club, and what we do is autocross and these sorts of things. We do into racing and car racing, but the bikes is kind of something new to me. I've realized that it's not that different when it comes to the slow and technical stuff, because I find that especially when we were going through the course and going through the cones and so on, it was so similar to the autocross that I really fell in love with it. So, I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be licensed. I kind of had a bit of a misconception when I started riding. I thought that, riding fast would have been the interesting part and so on. And what I've realized is that, just riding slow, balancing, these sorts of things, slowly weaving in and out of the traffic and so on, I found it to be, so much more interesting than, because when we're up to speed, the bike basically balances itself. Even right now, I'm fully engaged. It's a very all-encompassing experience. So I'm happy to be here, and I would recommend this riding school to anyone, because I knew a couple things, but the wealth of information that I got from learning to ride with you guys, that's irreplaceable. So it was a really good experience. You guys were really helpful, and I'm happy to be a newly licensed rider.
Yeah, and the fact that you're still yearning for more, it just shows the type of individual you are, because you're already licensed and here you are still practicing in traffic using the fundamentals.
Well, I'm one of those people that believe you could never really learn enough. Is there really a cap to learning and so on? Right now,
Yeah,
even as
that
I'm
is
talking to you
true.
right now, I'm learning stuff.
That is
So
true. Even right now, it brings you back to your very first day on the court. You were riding first gear, not using any gas and learning to use your brakes and learning to use your clutch. And this is what we're doing right now. Now I hear some rumble in the back. Boom, motorcycle rider moving through traffic, no helmets.
that's a common thing nowadays. Well, I wouldn't say nowadays. It's just something that hopefully it will be less common in the future. And people can talk about laws and all these things, but at the end of the day, you have to care about your own safety enough to know that at least a helmet, that's basic equipment. I find that the price of motorcycle gear over the years, because I've been looking at it for quite some time, and I find that it's gotten more affordable with time. So I don't know why people still want to ride without helmets and these sorts of things.
And not only that, but the variety, because you were talking about the styles that you could get right now, which fit like normal clothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And the thing is that the other thing I like too is that the helmets are so stylish. You can really customize it to be you. You could have your own unique helmet and these sorts of things. So you could be safe without having to look goofy about it. So I don't know what's the big deal about riding without helmets and all these sorts of things, especially on a daily basis. Yeah, I'll have to filter in after this car here.
Okay, you're still in the back.
Yeah, there's a guy right to your left. A pickup truck.
Having proper gear, functioning gear, comfortable gear, it just makes the ride so much more fun, and it makes you feel comfortable and also confident that if something does happen, you will be protected.
This kind of thing where, people want to show off and say, hey, look at me, I'm riding. And then I guarantee you, when you fall on the road, everybody will see you because the pictures will come out online.
You go viral.
I think it's better that people just, take it light, do it the right way. And that way, if you get pictures taken of you, even though your face might not be in the picture because you're wearing your helmet, at least you know it's not of you on being on the road.
Exactly. What has been your most favorite thing about riding?
The fact that I don't really have to go extremely fast to enjoy myself. Coming from a strong car background, it's more of a thing with the cars where you have to really be able to get up and go, with these vehicles and stuff like that to have more fun with them. But with the bikes, you can actually be going pretty slow and you could be enjoying yourself. That's my main takeaway from it all.
What made you interested in bikes? At what point in time did you decide, I want to learn to ride a motorcycle?
I had the opportunity to ride a motorcycle once, and I can guarantee you, I think that was it for me after that. It was a while back though. I think it was a CRF 450 or something like that. And I took my time, I made it around the field and so on. And I tell you, that was a really good experience. It was really nice, And from that time, I never looked back after that.
And that was with no formal training.
Right, but the thing is, since I understood how a clutch worked at least, then I was able to at least manage the bike and so on. I did not cut off because it was a couple of my buddies that were trying out the bike. 2 of them cut off and 2 of us did not cut off. It wasn't bad at all.
So there it is. We just basically beat some major traffic and there was no rush.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
We were just practicing the fundamentals as we filtered through the traffic, but...
And the thing is, another reason why I'm so enthusiastic about it all is because I think that the more seat time you have, the better you get at it. And I'm someone, I like to develop my competency fairly quickly. So I rather just dive into the deep end, get as much seat time as I can, so I can get up to speed with the proper ways of doing things.
What has been the most challenging part of riding for you?
Well, actually, this is it right here. the traffic, especially on the hills and so on. Yeah, it can be quite a challenge. And the thing is, a lot of guys say they can ride. When it comes to the slow bits, I've noticed that a lot of experienced riders tend to falter. And that's one of the reasons why they like to zoom in and out of the traffic and so on, because unless they keep their speed up, they can't really keep their balance. At the end of the day, I rather do the hard stuff now so that later on, everything else could be somewhat easier for me. I'm not someone to stray away from a challenge or anything like that. I mean, if the traffic riding is the most difficult part, throw me in at the deep end and let me see what I can do.
Yeah, I share that sentiment.
Yeah, and that's why I love the traffic, because it's the hardest part so far. I don't want to say that, I can ride and I have my license and then, I encounter traffic and then I have my feet down walking the bike up the hill. How is that supposed to look? You say you can ride and stuff, and the second you encounter traffic and you can't weave around, you're actually stuck there, and now you're just walking the bike along. Nah, I don't think that's a very good look.
Not at all.
Nope.
Not at all.
Nope,
It says a lot to your skill level,
And not the type of look that I would want for myself.
So I love the fact that you use your horn right there to alert the driver that you are approaching.
Oh yes, definitely. The thing is that sometimes people are a bit distracted and so on, so I can't depend on their discretion. I just control what I have control over.
There you go.
At least if anything has to go wrong, at least I did my best.
Whoa.
Yeah, look at
okay.
this, a dog and someone crossing.
So I went to my left, and what that does, it opens up the vantage point so you get to see a lot further, and I was able to pick that up before going around the corner blind. So
yeah,
honestly, riding this way, I found it just makes the ride so much more easier. You don't have to think too much. Vehicle enter in my lane, I roll off the throttle, no brakes. It just makes the ride so much smoother. Okay, I have a general rule. I do not go past any vehicles near or around a fuel station.
Yeah, that's a damn good rule.
Once there are a line of vehicles ahead of me, I will wait in that line, because you never know. Someone will look at the fuel gauge and be like, you know what, let me just stop up now and just make that swing.
I mean, coming from driving cars and so on, when I'm in the vehicle, I'm totally protected. When I'm on the bike, I'm exposed. So,
You're exposed,
I
there you
mean,
go.
it only makes sense to take that extra caution.
I said to someone, you need to ride defensively.
Unlike the guys that always riding offensively.
Offensively, yeah. Oh man, where's the traffic? With regards to the autocross, how long has this organization been in effect?
It's going on about maybe 12 years because we formed the club in 2010. Autocross is something that is not necessarily like drag racing because drag racing is a more universally acceptable sport. It's a lot simpler. You just basically launch a car and you go down a straight line over a measured distance and who crosses the line first. Whereas autocross is a little more three-dimensional in the regards that you have to be able to brake properly, you have to be able to turn properly, you have to be able to accelerate properly. So it has the aspects of it, the same aspects as drags in terms of launching your car and all these sorts of things. But it also has another aspect to it, which is basically, you have to be able to turn the car properly and brake really hard and so on. So I always tell people, if you never experience a roller coaster, hop in a car and do an autocross. And that's the closest thing you'll get to a roller coaster on island since we have no theme parks. The other thing too is that it teaches a lot of driver skill because at the end of the day, you learn the limits of your vehicle under varying conditions as well because we also run autocross in the rain. As a matter of fact, we like when it rains because it adds a different dimension of challenge to the track. But I honestly think that if a lot more motorcyclists were to undergo this type of training and so on, I think we'd have a lot less accidents and to a greater extent road fatalities among bikers because as the old saying goes, you have to be able to walk before you can run. I think a lot of these guys, they don't seem to understand the basics to controlling a motorcycle and so on and how to safely maneuver their bikes. They hop on the bikes and they just ring the throttle wide open and so on and just see where life takes them. And unfortunately for some, life doesn't take them very far. So this type of training is really essential. And from someone like me who's very experienced with cars and so on, like I said before, you guys taught me a lot. And I'm happy that I did the course. So happy that I'm still doing the course, even after I'm licensed and so on. So it's just testament to the type of training, that you guys give.
Well, it made it that much more fun because you were willing, you were excited, enthusiastic.
Like I always say, man, I'm always willing to learn. And especially for something like this, I mean, it's in my best interest to learn. I'm using your method. I'm seeing this guy come out of the gap, so I'm going to the center of the lane in case
That's right.
he decides to do any fancy moves on me there.
That's right. Protect your zone. All right,
Yeah,
so
bro.
this time you lead in.
I'm leading. Okay.
Yeah. Now I want to see how you head back. Let me see
All right.
what's going through your mind.
So right now, as I'm about to move out, what I'm doing, I'm glancing around, make sure nobody's coming, no obstacles or anything like that. As I was taught, like a good little boy. Now that I have checked and everywhere is clear, I am easing out the clutch and rolling forward slightly. Let's go a little shakily too. All right, then I have to indicate and glance over my shoulder. Okay, nobody's coming. Yeah, how was that? Even though I was a little shaky at first.
That's to be expected. Right, so my
Okay.
position currently is to your left and to the back of you.
For the staggered formation.
Right.
All right, now traffic is coming up, and like you said, never pass near a gap, and we are nearing a gap. So I will go down again and just ease the bike alongside these guys here. Okay, so can we filter now, or
If you want to advance, you can do so once you
well,
feel
actually there's
comfortable.
another gap coming up, so that means that I might just have to fit back in. So you know what, I'll stay here for now.
All right, that's fine.
I'll just let the bike do its thing, just roll nice and easy.
Yeah, you always advance when you feel comfortable. If you don't feel comfortable, then
Yeah, okay, this guy was stopping for somebody. Well, I kind of didn't have a choice in passing him because he looked like he was stopping.
yeah, he indicated left.
That cold wind, it feels almost like a rain is going to come down. Although when we were coming up, there was a slight drizzle though. Well, one thing I could say, boy, the drops really hit different when you're on a bike. These drops feel like somebody pelting stones.
Yeah, they're like needles.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, man, riding is a totally different experience. You get the whole atmosphere of wherever you are, And to me, you even hear the sounds clearer and everything. It's just a different experience altogether.
Yeah. For me, I just feel so much more connected to my environment. You know, sometimes I'll be passing by and I'll see something I've never seen driving.
Yeah, because now it's like your commute is no longer just a commute, it's an experience, you know.
Exactly.
You know, you're going from point A to point B, but it's different, you know. That's what I was saying earlier on. Even if I'm not going fast or anything like that, just the fact that I'm kind of exposed to the elements and stuff like that, it makes it a more engaging experience. If I was in a car making this exact same commute, it would just be, you know, boring. But because I'm on two wheels, you know, it's just different. The feeling is different. That's what I'm trying to say.
I love the distance you keep in from the vehicle ahead of you. You're giving yourself enough time to react if you need to.
Yeah, and the other thing too, at least I like to see clear ahead, you know. I'd rather see ahead as far as possible. The one thing I could say on the lighter bikes, the wind sometimes tends to blow you around a little.
Yes, you can definitely feel it.
Yeah, you have to make slight adjustments and so on. Okay, so there's a guy coming out of the gap now. Okay, well that's done for. The one thing I do too is that, I'm not sure if it's the right way to do it, but once I see brake lights, I tend to brake early. I rather not wait until I get up to the guys to brake.
At least roll off the throttle and
Yeah,
just
well,
have
well
the
yeah,
bike
that
move
too.
a lot slower.
And I mean, this thing has so much compression. Once I release the throttle, it just slows right down.
So as you're riding on this road right here, you're looking very far ahead. See some brake lights, see an
Yeah.
indicator. That's our cue to roll off. So once you see those brake lights ahead and you roll off the throttle, it just gives you so much time to react and decide, okay, what your next move is. The chances of you coming into contact with another vehicle is, wow, decreased by so much.
What I've found is that, especially from driving, I find that I've been, I don't even want to call it buzzed or whatever, but a couple times by guys on bikes, you know, because the thing is that they pass so close and they come with so much speed that you don't even have time to like react or anything like that. You just hear this noise by your window and they're gone. I've seen a couple times, like let's say a car would stop to let another car pass, and this guy would just try to dally around the car and stuff like that. And I always said that, you know, that creates a very dangerous situation, you know. Or like let's say people are on the pedestrian, the people are crossing and they just try to go past, you know, in time. You know what I've noticed, especially from us going up the road, we were not necessarily going fast, but because we were maintaining our speed, we were able to get to where we were going in no time. So that's what I'm saying, like for these guys that, you know, go up the road extra fast, I mean, apart from it being exciting, if you're trying to save on time, I mean, the risk versus the reward, sometimes it might not be worth it. It was amazing to see, like, let's say, that we were not really actually going that fast at all, and we made it up north pretty quickly.
Very quickly.
And that's with traffic and everything. At least for time saving, it almost makes the extra speed seem almost pointless.
So my position is to move right and then come back left. I think they might let him through.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They're letting him through.
Him or her.
Yeah. we will have to be politically correct. And here we have the bus again, and then this guy here.
I like that shoulder check you just did right there. Just making sure you
Definitely,
knew where I
because the
was.
thing is, what I wanted to do, I would have tried to open out a little, but since you were there, I may try glanced over to make sure where you were in proximity to me, so I could determine whether I could
You could
go
do it or
slightly
not.
to the
Yeah,
left
there
in
you
my
go.
lane or not. So I realized it wasn't safe to do, so I just held my line, you know.
Okay, I'm gonna move right and move left. So even for a vehicle across the road, if you feel comfortable doing that, you can do that as well. You move left and then you come back to your position. Yeah.
All right, I'll open out a little bit so I can see
Open
around
up,
the
that's
corner.
right. Oh man, you're doing amazing.
Okay, I see a guy indicating, so I'll roll off slightly. Roll off slightly, because the other thing I'm trying to do, I'm not trying to catch up to the car in front too much.
There
I'm
you
trying
go.
to maintain my distance, so. Okay, and this. Is this coaster coming out? It looks like it's coming out.
And that's another reason why staggered riding is important. I did not have sufficient time to stop,
All right.
but because of my position, I never ran into you. I just I was just side by side and then I fixed my position.
I wish that a lot of the guys that would ride around Independence Time would see this video, because I don't see any type of formation at all. Look at this. I blew my horn and the guy still came out. But look at something. I was expecting him to do that so much that by the time I blew my horn, I'd already rolled off the throttle, because I had a feeling he would have done something like that. I told a guy that he's younger than me and he always had road rage. And I told him that if you're going to be pissed, like let's say when you're driving all the time, the only way you can stop that is if you build a road parallel to the highway. That's your own personal road, because once you share the road with people, you'll always be pissed. So I told him, you know what, just take it easy, man. Don't get so upset when people do bad things on the road and stuff like that, because at the end of the day, you can only control your car and yourself. You can't control people, right. So you have to expect that, they'll do almost anything,
Yeah, go ahead, open up.
Yeah, I'm just opening out a little. And the other thing too is that the other reason why I want to open out around here, I know bikes come flying around this corner in the center lane.
And emergency vehicles as well.
Well, yes, that as well. That as well. Very true. Very, very, very true. I did not even consider the emergency vehicles and stuff like that. I was just thinking, there have been a couple times I've been driving and bikes come flying around that corner, so I don't want to be in the middle of the lane and have to catch up with a guy there.
So far, I must say you're doing fantastic. You seem to have very good knowledge of the road system and how it works. Even you anticipating movements and actions of others, I can see you have that on point. I
just try my best to, maintain my distance and expect anything. So that way, at least, if someone does something like, for instance, the bus driver a while ago, okay, I'll put it this way. You have to ride like you have no faith in the drivers around you. It doesn't sound like the best thing to say, but that's the truth of the matter.
You have to watch out for that metal passed over it. Boy, this thing is so slippery.
It's slippery.
Alright, cancel your indicator.
Oh shucks, I pressed the horn instead.
Yeah, this thing is really slippery. On a wet day, you want to pass on that, man, that bike would leave you.
I can imagine how slippery that thing must be.
Because it has absolutely no grip
that'll be the first and the last time I pass on it.
Yeah.
Or at least I'll try my utmost to avoid it next time.
That, and even the arrows on the road, that paint, when it's raining, yeah, this thing is like riding on plastic.
On that YouTube channel, Dan the Fireman, he was saying always stay off the white line as well. So basically the arrows, anything that's painted on the road, stay off these things, because these things can be very slick.
Yep.
It's not so much of a bother for if you're in a car, but I mean when you're on a motorcycle, that's a whole different dynamic altogether.
Yeah. When you're on a car, you have 3 other tires that could catch some grip for you, but
once you lose grip in any one of your tires, that's half your grip gone already.
If you're going in a straight line, then that means both tires would pass on the slippery surface, and then that's it.
Let me go. Okay, yeah, that.
Wow.
Well, look at what this guy did.
Do you, buddy, do you. Another thing that gets me, this zone is actually 30-50 zone,
What's the speed for this zone?
30 miles per hour, 50 kilometers per hour.
Oh, really? Okay.
But yes, still people move, like the speed limit for here is go faster than the person ahead of you. But no, it's actually 30-50. Well, I must say I'm very impressed with the way you navigated the traffic.
Well, thank you very much.
I love your awareness, I love your control, I love the fact that you're hardly ever on the brakes. Your first option is always to slow down early.
That's the thing, this thing has so much compression, There's so much compression.
Look, and the fact that you started off with a slow approach, the light change, all you had to do was just gas up. You didn't even have to come to a complete stop.
Yeah, go up and just slam on the brakes.
I enjoyed that. Thank you so much for taking me riding with you.
You're taking my line from me. I should be the one telling you that.
No, you took me riding. Thank you for that. I'm looking forward to some more rides.
Yeah, man, of course. Me as well.
Definitely love to hit some more traffic. So for those of you watching, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. And I hope you learned something. Please remember to take it easy on the road. Slow down. Ride with the traffic, not against the traffic. Also remember, get control of your body. Take time for your mind. Love yourself first so you can love others. Until the next time. Poop, poop. Peace.
It feels strange though. Normally I'm the one following. Yeah, it feels a bit strange. You see you see why I had to blow my horn there? Because I already moved to the left. I saw the lights coming. I'm saying this guy will not stop. I had a feeling that fella was not going to stop. He had no intention of stopping.